Well, we do know that the boomers are hitting age 65 at I think a rate of between 8 and 10,000 a day, which is amazing. We also know that boomers may be occupying really senior level positions in organizations, critical level positions. And succession planning is a methodology for an organization to say, what are these critical positions, looking at the incumbents in them, and saying, how do we find high potential candidates internally that can step into those roles for business continuity purposes or for other purposes such as retirement. And it's a way to get those folks up and ready to take on that work. Well, succession planning it's really a process in which we go through this. Once we have identified these key roles, is really mapping out what we call role maps. So what are the things that are really critical for success in those, and what are the derailers that can occur for somebody that would be in that position? Career derailers are sometimes kind of hidden and not known about. So you create these really accurate profiles for those positions, and then you look at your pool of high potentials. Are they currently high performers already? How long have they been in their current position, and are they demonstrating that they would be ready in enough time for that new role? And then what's typically done is assessing them against those profiles, as well as using other assessments. On the really high end of things, they use these things called assessment centers, and they have very high predictive validity as to success in succession. And so it's really, and at the end of the assessment is the creation of development plans. So, there are always gaps between where that candidate is and what the position requires. So it's how, what are the things that we need to do to close that gap? Probably one of the most important things when we look at succession planning is we're looking at the nature of the human resources function, and does the organization use a competency-based approach? When we look at those role profiles, we want to make sure that we're talking about executive, if those are executive positions, what are the executive competencies that are required to be successful? The other thing is to make it very open and transparent. It used to be succession planning was a conversation between the executive, the chief executive, and the chief people officer, and it was creating what was called a 9-cell grid, and it essentially looked like the old boys network, and so, in today's age of wanting to really embrace diversity, we need to look at, having objective assessments.